Hey there guys, this is FormatAdam2 here with not another LP from Mother, as you can see, but in fact a Minecraft tutorial. And actually I'm hoping to have a series of Minecraft tutorials covering a very certain subject that I like to call PPM. PPM is a word I made up 3 minutes ago. It stands for Perpetual Piston Mechanics. Precisely. So what perpetual piston mechanics to me means, it means that you're taking a perpetual engine, so perpetual redstone engine, such as this one. You're taking redstone, whether you want it physically connected or wirelessly, is your choice, and then taking a piston. It can be a sticky piston, a regular piston, but this is a regular piston, which I prefer more than a sticky piston. And just basic introduction is this. This is pretty much the simplest machine you can have. On-off switch, the whole thing, kit and caboodle. And this is basically what perpetual piston mechanics is all about. This is the core. But there are many after experimenting for quite a while, there are many different possibilities you can have with perpetual piston mechanics, and I decided that the first thing we're going to do is talk about closed loop pistons, closed loops. Yeah, that's pretty much the word I'm looking for. Closed loops, and then working with standard non-sticky pistons, because I just love them. Because with sticky pistons, you're not really interacting with the world. With this one, every single time you pushes, it goes into the world, and you can consistently add more to it until you hit, of course, the 13 mark, which I found also very interesting and very kind of cool, because it creates a limit that you have to work around, and it kind of makes it more interesting and more puzzle working, problem solving. Alright, so now that we understand what a basic PPM machine is, let's kind of step it up a notch and make our first closed loop perpetual piston mechanics machine. So what I'm going to do is take one of these guys, and I hear lava. Why is there lava? Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a beautiful square. We're creating a square, a square that's going to go on forever, perpetually. It's going to go perpetually forever, perpetually. It's going to spin around in a circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our actual blocks. They're going to be inside the actual blocks that will be moving as a result of the pistons pushing. So the blocks that will be moving are, I'm going to use snow blocks. You can use any blocks, doesn't matter. Currently it doesn't matter. We're not doing anything fancy. I think maybe ice blocks will melt randomly in the sand biome, so avoid those blocks if you can. But another thing I want to point out is I said square. I lied. We're going to make a rectangle, because just to show you that any really rectangular shape is possible. And later on I'll show you more intricate designs, but I want to start out with the basics. So let's start off with the basics. And the first rule is, after you create the shape, you throw down the pistons, and then you're supposed to make sure they point in the direction that they're going to push, in the direction that you want the objects to move. Like that's not correct. Nothing's here. Wait here. Okay, so what we're going to do, this one's going to push it this way, this guy's going to push it this way, it's going to push it this way, it's going to push it that way. So just to kind of make it easier to observe the motion, we're going to put a sand block. Now, next thing you should do always is remove the corner pieces, because when you first plug in the system, it all turns on. You don't want it to start pushing blocks around with other pistons ready, because then you'll have this guy working. Let's give him this. Have this guy working, and then eventually you'll have this where blocks are being pushed out. And another beauty about this is actually getting the timing perfect, because if the timing is off just on one of these guys, then this one will push, but this guy will be extended, so they can't push the blocks, and they'll get stuck. And then, or if this one's not extended and this guy pushes twice, then 2 blocks will go through and all that stuff, and all chaos can ensue. The world will just end up in flames, and Valhalla will open up and then Notch will come out and stop you. But so in the virtual world that we live in, where chunks and chunk reloading and chunk refreshing, I believe it's called, matters, this is very important. Since every single one of these pistons and every single one of these redstones will refresh in a certain way, and if you don't do it, if you don't set up the redstone properly, then all will be for naught. Another thing is you should always set up the red flow current in the direction that you want these up. See, look, it's moving. So in the direction that you want the pistons to push the objects. So this one goes first, this one goes second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Now, one of the reasons why I put these guys in front of here, so in case something went haywire, and let's say the chunk reload was not right, or the ticks were off, or something something's funky with your computer or Minecraft, you can alternate things here, and then if you alternate things enough, you can tweak out the issues. So like these guys, I'm trying to get some weird settings to get stuck. Yeah, so like right here, see, he gets stuck. Now, in a perfect world, in the perfect virtual Minecraft world, it shouldn't happen on the moment you plug everything in this way, as you're following the current. However, let's say, for some reason you cannot power this guy, you have to use like a different engine or something, then this will definitely be necessary for tweaking, since they're not working all on the same timer. So that's why I put it there. This is a precaution. And then this guy obviously is to extend the current, but also it helps because once again for tweaking is if you want to move this guy, or let's say this guy's okay, moving perfectly fine, but the rest of them are having some issues. If you tweak this one, all the rest of them are affected, but not the first one. So you can, and it affects all of them equally. So essentially the only one you're affecting is this one. So you can get a total of you can have a total of 6 tick difference between this guy and the rest of them. So that's helpful. And that's pretty much the basics here. I'm going to stop it actually, and just to kind of spice things up. What I like to do is just throw in some redstone. What are they called? Redstone lamps, yeah. And a couple of these guys. If you want to, you can plug in a circuit if you want. Just a proof of concept, and it doesn't work. What? Okay. So yes. So let's start this guy again. And it looks all pretty. Everything's moving, and they'll turn on and they'll turn off. And some basic applications of this is like, let's say you want to have some very fancy, let's say lighting for the roof of your house. Give me a second. Let's say if you want to have some very fancy roof on your house, fancy lighting on your house, you can have these guys moving around and creating, different patterns and all that stuff. And later on, I'll show you some cool things about that. And this is all nice and dandy, but you are limited. Some of the drawbacks, you are limited to 13 blocks. And actually, let me fly over to my other one, the prettier one, the purdy one. And as you see here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 blocks maximum over here, because if you push in the 13th block, then it won't be able to push it forward. So you have to have a 12 block gap is the maximum you can work with. And if you turn it on, and this guy on, what happens is it all goes in a nice, pretty little square. And if you do times at night, and if you type it correctly, yep, TM. If your TM is off, then you're in trouble. So night, it creates a pretty pattern with the lighting, and then the sound disappears. But it creates a nice pattern, and if you want to inside your house have something like this, and if any questions asked, that's how it's being powered. But the light, and so you know, this is at the very basics. This is what you can do. You can have, you know, more complicated systems and you know, more intricate designs. And hopefully in the next video I'll be able to show you, you know, a step up from this, where we get all funky with our shapes. All right. Well, thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video.